Hey, Honest community. Before we dive into this episode, we've got a quick free favour to ask. If you enjoyed the Honest Property podcast, please hit like, follow, and subscribe wherever you're listening from. It helps us grow, reach more people, and bring on guests that you want to hear from. Thanks for being a part of this. We appreciate you more than you know.
Hello and welcome to the Honest Property Podcast. We're your hosts, Becky and Ruth, the Honest Property Sisters. We've built a multi-million pound property portfolio over the last 14 years, and we enjoyed having unfiltered chats about building wealth, purpose, and freedom that actually feels good. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the cost of looking successful. Why looking successful is exhausting, the hidden cost of aesthetic wealth, and are we spending too much just trying to look successful?
Hmm.
And this has all come about because 2026, social media is the main marketing platform for most businesses. And that means that social media, like the main, I know they're not all visual, but the main ones are. And there is a growing acknowledgement of the emotional, psychological, and financial cost of maintaining this image online to prove success.
Yeah.
So have you noticed how expensive it's become to just look like you're doing well now? And this isn't like exclusively in the wealth building space. It's just generally in every space.
I was going to say in the wealth building space that we're in that ecosystem. I see
Yeah,
it very clearly of like which people look like very expensive to look a certain way, you know?
yeah. There was a dangerous quote. I call it dangerous because I believed it, or we believed it. I'm going to call it out by Cody Sanchez, who I used to really kind of enjoy her content and seeing what she's up to. But she said that for women, you are like 30% more likely to earn more money if you just slap on some makeup than if you don't.
There's a
Which,
lipstick tax, isn't that what it's called?
yeah, and like the tax is worth paying because you'll get paid more. So like, why do you care so much? Like, slap it on and just carry on. And it just perpetuates and doesn't change anything, is what I have a problem with. And I believed it. Ruth and I are quite dirtbag darlings, down to earth, like to go outside, not too bothered about brands or, you can see now if you're watching this on YouTube, my hair is naturally, I'm in a humid environment. So, but we've got naturally frizzy hair, curly hair. Um, but there was a point where I was like, this needs to be controlled and maintained for camera presence.
Camera
Because
presence, yeah, because that's what you're told
yes,
in corporate, in business circles, especially for women, that you need to look a certain beauty standard.
yes, entrepreneur aesthetics. How, Ruth and I don't look like the typical
Luxury.
multi-millionaires, yeah, and maybe there's a look that we need to do. I mean, it comes from a place of insecurity that we had at the beginning of our business, which is why we do what we do now, just to represent the space a bit more. But we
But
don't
also
look like,
in the wealth sector as well, online especially, there is this like luxury culture that's attached to it. So then if you don't ooze this luxury social media page that shows that you've got like a Lamborghini in the back, or like,
yeah,
like the young traders do. So I'm not calling out, I'm just trying to give an image here that if you don't look this certain way and you constantly have your nails done, I mean, like, look at my nails, there's nothing I've like nothing at all, or like your hair is not slicked back, or you have like perfect makeup and
it's
whatever,
like
and you're
I
not
think
wealthy. And I think when we started Honest Proper Sisters, we really wanted to just be like, this is bullshit. No one can like keep this up constantly, and we want to be as real as we can be. And also just say all the like, the stuff like everyone gets marketed to. I mean, I still, want to try and look presentable as much as I can, but sometimes I'm just not gonna. And also
I
you
think
can
there's just a
show up with that
standard.
too.
There's a standard where like you can take care of yourself, but you don't have to look like there's a certain aesthetic that comes with looking like you take care of yourself. It's like our hair's clean, our nails are
I would
clean. We don't
say.
Yeah.
as well, that there is the like the this look aesthetically online, but I would say I probably have been sucked into more of like the wellness sector of social media when it comes to wellness culture about like let's biohack everything. So I have to be very mindful of that personally,
It's
more
it's
than
just a
like
different
the
type.
health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse, but I mean, it could, there's a side of wellness culture that's also pretty dark if you're not careful.
Mm.
So there is a pressure in all aspects of it, and the internet has made successful like less like feeling satisfied and happy and fulfilled, and more like you have to visually
Present
show
yourself.
that off. Yeah. And there's a rise of like new terms like looks maxing and aesthetics and all these cosmetic procedures being normalized. Like if you're a wealthy woman who gives a damn about herself and takes care of herself, you probably need to go get some Botox and fillers. And I mean, I'm not condemning anyone who does that at all. I much prefer you just loved your bodies and didn't do it in my heart of hearts and
It's
didn't feel the
hard if
pressure
it
to do
becomes
it.
normalized. It
But
becomes
I
normal.
appreciate it. Yeah, it's normal. It's normal. People think it's just evolved so much where people just think, I'm gonna go just pop into this spa looking place and
Wellness.
think it's wellness and self-care and that I care about myself and I'm optimizing myself. Maybe it will give me that 30% edge that, other people have been talking about. I'm not going to say it's like exclusively in the UK or anything. Obviously, there's standards of this all around the world.
Mm.
A social media perfection look in every single nation,
I
and
was
no
just, I
one
was
is safe from this.
I was listening as well to a podcast with a girl talking about, I really want to read her book actually. It's called Girls. Anyway, she talks
Mm.
about like her when she's a Gen Z, and she was talking about how there used to be this like app that you would like edit your photos on before you even put it onto Instagram. And she grew up in that generation of where you edited
Oh,
with like an
Facetune,
AI.
that was what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Facetune, that's what it was.
yeah,
And that became normalized that like girls no longer knew what like they were not no longer satisfied with like the actual what they actually look like anymore because they were using so many filters. But all of it's
yeah,
become normalized, especially in the wealth space, because now everyone, this was a topic of conversation, like now that everyone can buy like fake Louis Vuitton handbags or like really good like fakes of like designer products, the next thing that is like that people it's not as accessible to like normal people is just doing all of this wellness cosmetic procedures, like all of these like biohacking things that cost a lot of money
mm,
because like the average person's not able to afford that, but they can afford a fake
yeah.
really good designer bag. But that's like, so now if you want to show that you're wealthy, it's because you can afford all of these
To
procedures.
optimize yourself. Yeah,
Yeah. So that's why it's now the look, a certain look, or that you can afford to do these like uh infrared body suck. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like, like anything that is like
in
not,
certain cultures, there's if you do well at university or in your studies, it's normal for you to be rewarded by your parents with a nose job.
yeah.
Like this industry is rising globally in all its shapes and forms. When I was in Thailand, I was there's an app. What is it called?
Before we continue, here's a quick thought. Ever feel like there's just never enough time to focus on what really matters in your business? You don't have to do it all alone. As they say, a great team makes everything easier. That's why we've partnered with the Freedom Geek. Their talented Filipino VAs help us with tasks like admin and podcast editing, just like for this episode, giving us the freedom to focus on what really moves the needle. If you're looking to reclaim your time and to work smarter, then check out the Freedom Geek. All the details are in the show notes. Now let's get back to our conversation.
Wasabi or something? I can't remember. But it was like the app you use for different services. So like if you want to get your nails done, if you want to get a massage. So for me, those things are not bad things. But then there's another category that sits right next to those, what I would say, relatively harmless things that were lasers and Botox and everything. What's it called? Go Wubby. That's it. And it would just sit everything next to it like it is the same thing, you know? And that's the problem I have with this. Like you
Normalize
can
this.
inject stuff in your face or your body and then get a massage like before.
I remember there used
Um,
to be a shop as well in Bristol where you could just on your lunch break go and get lipo and then you're out. Like it's like
really?
no, yeah, just go quickly, go get some lipo and then you're done and you get out.
Like here, look, I'll show you now. You can get facials and then it goes into PRP facials, which are like they need to extract your blood to do that. And then you can get a laser. But look how like nice and spa it looks like wellness.
Like, you're
And I
treating
think
yourself.
it's so easy to fall into this trap and see that as, okay, this is normal. This is what
Mm.
normal people do. And this industry is worth trillions because they know with the with social media how to get how to market to you, how
See,
to make you feel.
It's not Instagram aesthetic anymore. It's from TikTok. It's from TikTok
Yeah,
trends that then
I'm not
go
good.
into Instagram. I don't have TikTok. But
And Gen Z millennials, we spend a lot on our appearance and wellness. Um, Ruth and I were saying before, we really enjoyed makeup before. You wouldn't know it now. We used to
back in the
love
day,
going
we were
into the
like
shop
big
and
on.
like, yeah, like swatching things and talking about the opacity and the how translucent and the nice shimmer shine something has. Um, and we
Who
couldn't
was
leave the
that
house
lady that
without
we used to
makeup.
watch on YouTube? We loved her, the Asian,
Loads.
Vietnamese lady.
Oh, Michelle Phan. Yeah.
Michelle, yeah, she was like the one. She was like the first one of the first beauty
But even
influencers.
her, she did a video about all therapy because she gets all
Yeah.
therapy done. And it's another like intense laser that people can get done that isn't a walk in the park. Um, so you got to really be careful who you put your trust in because a lot of these people as well paid by these big expensive cosmetic companies to influence you to
Mm.
do a procedure that's expensive and normalize it. I don't know that much about the looks maxing world, but I know it's a world where guys are measuring their worth over something they can control, which is the way that they look, same as women have been for many years. And it's
It's kind of like
got
men are
so
feminizing their
precise.
face.
Are they feminizing it? I thought
It's
they were like going for
feminizing.
massive jaws and stuff.
No, it's feminizing. Yeah, well, it's like feminizing the face, but masculine, becoming muscly in their body. But I think there was like data. God, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong with this, but that women are a lot more attracted to like the more of a feminine face. So they're kind of becoming like the men version of the Instagram, kind of like the men version of the Instagram face.
I think women like I think the trending look for women because I know beauty standards go in and out of fashion, but a lot of women are kind of looking like that K beauty, Korean, beautiful Korean pop star look. So people are
Yeah,
trying to replicate it. So it's like pretty boy face, but
yeah, pretty boy
masculine
face.
body. Yeah. But obviously the pros are if you give off that you take care of yourself and have respect for the way you present yourself, you can feel confident, duh. Like if you get your hair done, of course you feel like you feel nicer. You
And you can't deny
have,
the psychology as well of
yeah.
like what people think of you as well, of making that first impression.
If you think you look good, then you'll feel good. Like it's just it's obvious, but the problem is that when you don't know how to recognize what you already have, or you start
Mm.
comparing yourself to things you don't need, and then it perpetuates insecurity. endless spending, and just
Perfection.
always looking for perfection because there's always going to be a new thing. There's going to be always a new thing that's going to make you look better because that industry in itself keeps evolving. The longest standing thing that people do regularly is Botox. I actually find that personally quite dangerous.
Yeah. But there is like an entrepreneurial successful look. Like
Mm.
Becky and I talk about this a lot. I think we've always questioned it throughout our whole career because we used to be the pet care business where we would wear joggers. Like what you'd see us look like was not like a bit of an underdog. So there's luxury signaling, which is the successful entrepreneur look. You have when you have your entrepreneur branding, you want to look a certain way. The aesthetics becomes the credibility, and creators feel pressure to look polished. I mean, I'm guilty. I try and
We
look
did.
polished.
Yeah, I give up now, to be honest.
Because
Like
you
being
think that if
polished.
you don't look a certain way, then you're not going to be very aspiring. Like you have nothing,
Yeah,
especially if we're now forward facing online and most people are running their businesses from online. If you don't look like you give a crap about yourself to the standard of what giving a crap looks like as an entrepreneur,
yes,
then you're
so
not
risky.
going to be taken seriously and you're not going to be taken, especially as a woman. I feel like men can sometimes get away with it a lot more, but as a woman, there is a lot of pressure to look put together. Otherwise, it looks like you're not a credible person.
I watched that monologue that America Ferrara did in the Barbie movie, and I
Yeah.
listened to it recently, and it got me so upset because it's very true. Um, like trying to keep up to the standards, but not too much.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it's recommend watching that monologue again, but it was very hard hitting for me the other day. But yeah, I think you're right. There's I say that I refer to that because there's a line where it's like you can like look like there's a look where it looks like you've given enough, you care enough about yourself, but that isn't necessarily true. Like in our case, we have frizzy hair. That doesn't mean we don't wash it. That doesn't mean we don't care
Yeah.
for our hair. It's just our natural texture. But to someone else, that might look unpolished. But what can you like? If you wanted it to look polished, it's probably got to be straightened out or have a ton of products put in it to tame it down. And there's a look even with that. I think the point I'm trying to make is it's so easy to slip into these standards that just aren't real. They're not natural, they're not real. And it can be really harmful. And I think maybe we should all just see, okay, there's a wealthy person who has their time and location freedom, and they get to be however they want to be in their natural state. Is that not ambitious? To me, that is.
To me, that
That
is
person looks
ambitious.
free.
Yeah, someone
That
for me is
person,
that idea is like someone who is like wearing natural clothing that doesn't have to be fashionable at all. They're just comfortable in it
mhm.
and free flowing hair, no makeup, just well,
Yeah,
nicely moisturized, maybe with a bit of coconut oil and walking barefoot on the beach. That is like to me the ideal epitome of like success, of like not caring anymore
yeah.
about trying to
It's
fit in to
that's
an ideal of what success is supposed to be. That to me is rich girl aesthetic.
that is, yeah, it doesn't have to be about overpriced fashion or all the random evolving treatments that you need to go and do. Having a massive house, going to these expensive cafes every single day, um,
No, you don't need
having
to.
a luxurious holiday that you need to take a million photos of and show everyone that you managed to do it. Like
You know, I
this
had this,
rich kind of aesthetic.
I want to say as well, so this is a question, how much of online success is actually performance? Because I have this conversation with Becky where, for a business and you're posting on social media, um,
Mm,
I was like, I don't have anything that looks very aspiring at all. My photo reel is me living my normal day, but I'm actually pretty happy, living my day to day. And like, there's sometimes a pressure to feel like you need to show that you are like doing something that's extraordinary, out of the ordinary. And I'm like, all of my truth is like living a normal, happy life. And it might be like just clips and pictures of me drinking a drink at home or playing with my kid. And that to me is success. But posting that, you kind of question and go, doesn't look inspiring enough, Like I always have to like, is inspiring enough? Like, or should I like don't care about being inspiring at all and just be truthful to like that's
We'll just
my life.
normalize that what,
Normal
yeah,
life, yeah.
we'll normalize that that
That's
is
what,
what the inspiration is. The inspiration
yeah.
is that.
So that's what I then realized. I was like, why you can't pretend your life is something else or try and make your version of wealth and success look like what you think it's supposed to look like because the wealth space has made it look like this unrealistic version because
Mm,
success and wealth looks different to everyone, which we've always said, that don't question if your success to yourself and your version of wealth looks maybe just like not as like, because you're not on a yacht, doesn't look like
mm,
something that is that interesting because normal, like creating making things that are like normal feel normal on the internet stops people
mm.
feeling like they're behind or like they don't or that they're further away from achieving what they want to achieve for their version of it.
Yeah, I think if anything, the main takeaway here is be really careful. You don't realize you're being influenced when you're being influenced, how much time you spend on social media. It
Mm,
is a marketing platform at the end of the day. Honest Property Sisters is also there is a marketing platform. Like it is. We're here to help educate people bring financial literacy in the property world, and expose more positive aligned wealth messages to you. But there's going to be good spaces, but most of it is marketing. Most of it is that, and you need to take space from it and realize so much on there is not normal. So much on it is not normal, and that some people are building their image of wealth faster than the reality of what
yeah.
true wealth means it to them. So if you're gonna post, okay, here's me making a messy cake with my kid, or here's me just in the garden today on a Tuesday because I can, like that is wealth. Maybe there needs to be more boring posts like that. I know it's not gonna, you're not as trendy, but maybe that's what the problem is, or we just get off it completely and don't enroll ourselves and now just make sure we take really mindful breaks. Like I personally have removed a lot of followers, stopped following
You've got to
people that,
remove certain people that don't align, yeah.
yeah, and just filter regularly because if stuff's coming up, you can also train the algorithm by saying not interested in this, and eventually you'll get it. And you can also, another tip, you can also train the algorithm to not show you things that are connected to certain words that might be negative for you.
Yeah.
Um, so
Otherwise,
yeah, I recommend doing that.
you end up, if you're trying to look financially successful on social media, you can fall into the trap of lifestyle inflation, which is like the first thing because you're now spending so much to keep up with this like version of the Joneses, spending to keep up with the appearances, the wellness subscriptions that are like not needed. It's a cosmetic maintenance that like never ends, and beauty standards just become more expensive and they're just
Or a
getting more
meditation app, or
expensive. Yeah, like
yeah,
you just
you
don't
don't need it.
like how many things do you really need? So are people quietly financing aesthetics instead of freedom? I think so.
I think so. So remember what your wealth looks like to you, and just be really careful what you let enter your mind and space online, because it might just not align, and then you end up in a new rat race trying to keep up with what everyone else thinks is success. On that note, thank you so much for listening. Um, the we have updated the beginner's roadmap. It's now called the Honest Property Masterclass for those who want to build aligned wealth. And I think on the topic of today, that's exactly what we want to promote more of, not just creating a massive portfolio of properties for the sake of it, but making sure that your strategy and the way you approach it aligns with the life that you actually want to build. Because more often than not, your financial freedom figure is probably not as far as you think, and you don't need to chase loads and loads and loads. You're learning from our mistakes because we've made those mistakes ourselves. And just make sure that every decision you're making is just getting you closer to the way you actually want your life to be before it's too late and you have to undo a lot of stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in joining waitlist, it's going to be down in the show notes. And let us know what you think about this topic as well. I think it's very current in 2026, and something that if you're not mindful of it, you can fall into the trap so easily.
Yeah, if you're not aware of it, then just make sure that if you're building wealth, is to make you feel safe and not from performative, like a performative success, because
Yeah.
that will be short-lived. Do it from a
Yeah.
place that actually makes you feel safe, that brings you calmness, peace, emotional safety, flexibility, enoughness, low pressure wealth, and just the financial breathing room there. Let's boycott performative wealth.
Yes. Well, thank you for listening, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.